Guys, you're a fan of the Sly Guy podcast and you want to see more guest episodes, you like seeing me with a guest, head on over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. The link's literally in the bio, so you just click on it and go and see way too much bonus content. You have guest episodes every week, you have the extra Sly Guy podcast, early release, vlogs, stand-up specials, early access to tickets, everything you want is all over there at patreon.com. So it helps the Sly Guy podcast grow, helps me get great guests, helps me keep a roof over my head here in the studio. So if you want to support me, support the podcast, get on over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. The Sly Guy podcast is also brought to you in association with Modest Beer. That's right, they've been sponsoring the podcast from day one, and they will sponsor us until we are no more, or until they are no more, until the end of time. But my point is this week, as it is every week, Modest love us and we love Modest. If you want to support Modest, head to their website www.modestbeer.co.uk, where you can get access to all the beers, all the different types of beer that they have, all the selection through their merch, where to buy the beer, what beer they have, the works, everything Modest at the website. And if you want to know more about Modest Beer, and it's just not enough to just occasionally click their website, head on to their website and subscribe to their Brews Letter, which is a beer-based newsletter in your email anytime anything Modest happens. It's worth subscribing to. It's a great time. I love Modest, and you will too.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Granny knows how to ring pasta. Do not disturb.
Granny?
Aye,
how does that happen?
She rings and rings and rings till you answer.
But even on airplane mode?
Well, not in airplane, do not disturb.
And
So that's why just airplane mode now is better.
Is your granny insistent on that?
Oh, she wants to talk, she talks.
And she's the boss. So you've told us plenty of times before she's your boss.
Well, she thinks she is.
Scoot you in. We're already recording, Glenn, here.
Oh, are we?
We are.
Oh, it does. It looks better now, yes.
Looks better, you're in the middle.
Yes.
Because you've had ones with you before, because you're only a wee shorty. So
I know.
you can get your wee face covered by
I'm
that.
tiny.
But now you're a man of the... Oh, you're a celebrity now.
Am I?
You're on the TV. How
know.
are you reacting to the news?
Well, actually, usually when I go into West Belfast and all everywhere, apart from my own area, people are like, Glen. I even get discount on clothes in West Belfast in the Kennedy Centre.
Who buys clothes in West Belfast?
Well, I did go into Kennedy and you were shaky Glen to give me discount.
There you
So
go.
I accepted it. But from the TV thing came out, people, and the Shane Todd thing came out too, people are like, I seen you. I seen you somewhere.
Yeah.
I seen you on TV.
Don't be
But only
giving
when
him
I've got my
any
makeup and all on, seeing scruffy in the morning, people just fucking ignore.
Yeah, so do you go out, like, because you are quite a loud personality. You're a man who wears fancy gear.
No,
You're noticeable.
First
Came
thing in the
today.
morning, I'm usually like a tramp in a tracksuit.
Oh,
Hair
and what-
everywhere.
Do you have put a hat on, hood up? Because you're recognisable, fella, you know now. People.
Well, I
recognise you.
realised this yesterday, people don't recognise me unless... They recognise me more when I'm wearing like a shirt and all. They do,
Yeah.
they really do. But if I'm just in a tracksuit, it'll look like a smack.
And is that how you go undercover?
That's how I go undercover.
You're going to have to do that more and more.
I know.
Now you're getting
I
out and
know.
about. Yeah.
I get very embarrassed, very, very shy. I love when people come up and say hello and all, like, but sometimes it can be very overwhelming, like, especially if I'm not expecting it either. Like,
And how are you coping with that side of things?
It's nice. It's really nice that people are enjoying what we've created as well, and people have said they really, really found it interesting and liked it, which was good, and thought it was very funny too.
Yeah, which is nice, and that's always good.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, Lesser Spooked Ulster we're talking about, which is
Yeah.
still on the iPlayer if any of you guys have yet to see it. And to anybody that wouldn't know or see it, how would you sell to them? What is it, Glenn?
It is like slapstick comedy on acid. We go around looking different places and ghosts, and it's actually really fun because Dave's a non-believer kind of, and I sort of am, but it's a really good dynamic, and it's created here. It has a very Northern Irish type energy, to be
Yeah.
honest. It's quite dynamic too. It's very well produced, I have to say.
There we go. And by the way, just off the bat, for any listeners listening to me, I'm sick. In case you're wondering, I've got a wee frog in my throat. So Glenn's going to do some witchcraft on me, try and cure me.
Everybody's fucking sick around me at the minute. Everybody. My granddad's got a cough. My sister's got a cough. Everybody around me's got... I can't afford to get sick.
No, you were going to say something there. Is COVID, is it?
Coronavirus.
Oh, wow. Is it coming back? Is COVID hot again, Glenn, or is it?
Well, I don't know. But there is a lot of like infections going about at the minute, seems to be.
Yeah, because I've got my two rotten wee kids that are going to school and going to nurseries and all, bringing the germs.
Bringing
and
all the
giving them to me.
germs in.
And you know what? If I was I tell you to the truth, see if I was working on my old job, I'd have phoned up and I said, I'm sick, I'm not coming in. Because I'm freelance now, I have to work, so I have to go out. I had to go do a gig last night. At the end of the gig, my voice just stopped, Glenn. And I was like, that's my tool.
You're giving them too much.
I know.
That's
That's
what
it.
it
You
is.
guys, do you take too much?
It's taking too much from them and I can't even speak.
Yeah, but you know what? The people probably like to hear that because now you're the guest on the podcast, so you have to do all the speaking now.
I have to do all the talking.
Yeah, what have you been at? Tell me. I feel like I've not seen you in forever.
Dave, not much. Remember the last time, well, when I was on before, I was said about my granny and how she'd to wait for 4 years to get her knees. Well, she's getting them done.
And she's getting them.
She's getting them done on the 15th of December.
Nice.
So
both at once.
Both at once, yeah.
Oh, so this is going to be you're going to be.
And they told her before that she wouldn't be able to get through the recovery, and all. They weren't going to do it for years, like. But now they're doing it. Well, she's got my grandfather there, like. But obviously, I'll have to help her as much as possible. But I did tell her earlier in the year, "My granny, you're going to get this before Christmas." So she's delighted, like. She's really happy. So it puts my mind at rest a wee bit. I hate seeing her in pain.
Yeah, and is she in bad pain at the minute?
She can't really walk or nothing, like, to be honest.
And how long? What's the recovery period like for something like that?
They say about 6 to 8 weeks. I think it's about, but there's no aftercare, like. They're sent home the next day. But she'll be alright.
In a wheelchair, I hope, not just.
Well, she's got a stair lift and all, like, but just she's no daughter. She's only got sons. So I'm going to have to fucking help. And my best friend lives next door to her too, so she helps as well. She's very good to her.
Yeah. Well, that's good. At least you have that sort of support now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'd always be like, I know my I don't know, this is a granny-in-law. I don't know if you call them that. My wife's granny. She had her hip done, and it took a wee, or her knee done actually, not her hip or her knee. And it took a wee while. And I was only the one.
Yeah.
But both at once is going to be.
Yeah.
And what do you
She's
do
very determined, like very, very determined.
Yeah. To get both the knees done,
to get them done. Aye, she can't. Well, she wants to be out walking. She wants to be out and about.
And how do you deal with that if she's like complaining about it after it's done?
Well, she's been complaining constantly now anyway, crying and crying and crying. So it's cheered her up that she's getting it done. Like, but I've told her, I says, "Granny, you're not going to be able to walk." Like,
and would she have like been big and like would she nip to the shops and things herself, or would she?
Well, no, but she would nip up and bang your window.
Like antisocial behaviour, or just just torturing you?
That's what I said jokingly. I says, "Isn't what we're doing, making Agnes mobile again?" I says, "For we'll all be fucking hound it."
No way, your granny's Agnes. My granny was Agnes.
Really?
Yeah, until she died, yeah.
Yes,
and then,
Agnes, see.
Yeah. How old your Agnes?
Agnes is 79.
Oh, gosh, she's wee spring chicken. She'll be grand. Get her up and running.
She said she's going to live to 95, I believe her, like, to be honest.
No, she was the one, now more sort of into your psychic side of things. She was the one you've spoken about before, saying that she was the one that maybe helped you develop your gift or helped you discover it or had
my granny would always say, "Oh, comes to me," but it was actually my other nanny that gave me the cards. My granny would...
Well, when you say cards...
Tarot cards,
right,
yeah.
okay.
My granny likes me doing what I do, fortune telling and all, but she'll never ever ask me about spirit. And whenever I talk about that, she'll talk about God.
And is she a Christian lady herself?
She wants to be, Rick, she says.
Well, that's the thing, because I know you're known to the listeners now. You know Glenn well. You've seen Lester's book, Ulster. You've seen him on the podcast. You know what Glenn's about. However, we never really cover exactly what the different roles are. I got asked this yesterday when I was like, what is it Glenn does? And I said, well, you're a medium, you're a fortune teller, and you're psychic.
Yeah.
And for those, let's break it down. What are each of those terms and what?
Well, psychic means you pick up on people's energy and you're able to tell them life things. You have to have psychic energy in order to have medium energy. Medium energy is the energy of spirit, loved ones, your guides, things like that there. I would have access to that largely. However, it is not always what I would say healthy, to be honest. For example, I've had situations in the past where I have been able to bring through significant evidence, say to a family member, and then maybe a month or two later, a different family member comes and it's something different again, and they're not able to get the same sort of healing and love. So I always tread very, very carefully, and I always think if God really wanted me to do that, he would do it. And I've said to my granny too, "Granny, when you go to heaven one day, if this is what I'm meant to be doing, make me really do it or else not really do it." So I've never really lost anybody close. So, and until then, I don't like calling myself a medium because it attracts it. It constantly attracts it. And see, dealing with grief all the time, it's not great. I get a lot of joy to like saying, "You're wearing name colour knickers," or "That's going to happen next week," and boom, it happens. Honestly, that really makes, because it can prove it then. It can go, "Well, boom, that happened." Do you know, it can't always prove because I can't see what the next bit is. Now, I did get a revelation the other day. I had to bring through a child for a grandparent. Honestly, it was very, very sad. And then I was asking all these questions, and I got to see a glimpse into what it would be like when the grandmother reunited with her, and it was almost like what God allowed me to see, because it was definitely God that showed me it. Because all along I'm always going, "God, let me know what's right here and what's not." I'm inquisitive. I can't just accept answers without asking how and why. But it turned out what I was able to see was whenever that grandmother passed away, she was able to reunite with her granddaughter, but her granddaughter was fully grown. I says, "I wouldn't be surprised if you were able to meet her children." And she busted out crying, and it really made sense. It really, really hit. But I know that sort of level of mediumship would not suit everybody. Definitely wouldn't, because how can you possibly tell loved ones that their loved ones are perfectly fine? In fact, they're living in a whole new world, getting on with things. How can you say that?
Yeah.
And even if you believe in heaven, you've got to... So mediums don't actually have an awareness of what the next bit is. Well, I don't anyway, and I've always wanted to. And every time I think I don't want to do mediumship, I just... Because it can make me very upset and all, and sometimes you don't have all the answers. You'll know things, but you'll not know how and why sometimes. Every time I think, right, this is getting too much for me, something really divine like that happens, and I can see more than I've ever seen. And it lets me know that everything's all right. But that doesn't necessarily happen all the time. That, for me, last week was a bit of a game changer, just in a sense, because it made me realise, okay, then I'm going to start going there with those that are ready. Because messages are ready for, like, say your granny would be able for messages that are far, far greater than what, say, someone a lot younger would.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. It's one that I think people sometimes would throw at mediums or psychics and things that like people who maybe don't believe in it and feel like there's something mean in it, you know, so people maybe think...
Well, this is another reason why... And this is where I sometimes get trolls going, oh, blah, 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 you say this about the dead and you say that and all. Well, actually, I don't. And if you go on to all my live streams, I'm not about your dead mum there now. If I was like that, I would be a multi-millionaire by now. And I know that really would be the 666 in me, kind of.
Because people, you know, obviously, like you say, the haters, the trolls, maybe people who don't understand.
Yeah.
Because I know before we met, I didn't have a great deal of understanding about what exactly it all entailed. Over time, out of curiosity, speaking to yourself, I've learned more about it. And again, I'm still, you know, there's a skeptic side to me too, but I still see the merit in some of it, and I like the crossover. But there are those who are very black and white. You know, to me, it's like religion too. Nobody can come out to me and say, this is a religion, this is right.
Yeah.
All the others are wrong. You know, I think there's elements to it. It's all open-ended. But the people that would maybe come after you and say, oh, you're disgraced, you know, taking advantage of people and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. How would you sort of say to them, well, actually, hold on, you know, that may be how it looks. You said there about the money side of things that you know you could take the piss and take advantage of people. You don't. I've certainly seen through working with you, you do have people's genuine interest at heart. Like, I've tried to ask you before, has there ever been like any like crazy stories? And you'd be like, well, no, because if I do see that, I'm not gonna go into it. You know, so you do tend to put. I
was taught really early, like, you've got to be a responsible reader, kind of. Very, very responsible readers. You've got to be careful what comes out of your mouth. And I know, especially what comes out of my mouth, I can't take it back. Once it comes out, it comes out. And when things come true, then it comes true.
And you seem to take a lot of it on in terms of what happens. So, like you said last week, there was epiphany. It tired you out. You were sort of drained a lot.
I was sort of drained and sad about it, especially when then I have to bring through a child. But the message was needed was... It made me see it differently again, and really in a child's instance, if a child really dies young, this is what I seen with this wee girl. Whenever her grandmother gets to meet her again, it'll be the end of her grandmother's life, but she'll get to step into the world in which her granddaughter is now fully grown and maybe even meet her children. So there's a different world somewhere else, is what I'm saying, and nothing will really be lost. In fact, it'll be her catching up, and that just made that woman float. It did, like it really did.
So that then obviously gives people comfort as well.
Not everyone would be ready to hear that. For example, she did say to me, I know my daughter would never be ready, well, nowhere near ready to hear a message like that. And I says, no, but you are. And she said, yeah. Well, she was ready, like, but that's why I'm very funny about it, you know. And I have to be real. I think all mediums have their own sort of way and their own sort of, I don't know, points of view, but I definitely have my own points of view on mediumship, but I don't always share them. I don't always share them because I feel like sometimes it can be disrespectful, just, and you have to let people grieve.
Here's one I want to ask you too. Have you ever had anyone come to you and they've on the surface been like, oh, tell me, but you've maybe got an inkling to go, they aren't ready to hear what I'm saying, and then how do you disguise
usually that there's actually, will he text me back type of energy. Will he text me back? It's that's exactly that energy right there.
So do you get people coming into you?
So when I know when they're like that, sometimes I have to go, right, well, as much as I can go, this person's a bastard, get away, they're not going to listen. In fact, they've got to try and give their best shot so they'll learn. So
do you think almost like when people come to you...
can't avoid your lessons. Like
they come to you already with what they want to hear. And if you say something, they're like, oh, he told me what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. The smart reason to go and see a psychic is when you need help with something, truthfully. Because if you go and it's a blank page, it's great, but then it's just, it can be... whatever comes out of the reader's mouth. So
let me say, for example, you have, like, obviously you do one-to-ones. You have people coming into you.
Yeah.
They have a reason for coming to you. What's the difference?
Most of the time it's just general. It's general reading. But if people then come back, like maybe a year later, usually it's more focus on this form of I'm having this problem.
tell me how this differentiates. So say you have someone booked you 1-to-1, they come in with something they want to talk to you about, or if you see like TV psychics, so they're in a room, they have an audience, and they just pick people from the audience. How does that differentiate? So obviously I'd imagine if you're an audience, you're just sort of sitting there with no real agenda of what you want to ask. And then if you come in, obviously it would be, I would assume it'd be easier to get from people, whereas how do they do
for a
that?
start, there's always somebody in the audience you can read. I mean, and I know this, but I believe too that the universe only really sends me to people that I can read. I don't really get skeptics or anything. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't get anybody really, I don't know. It's strange. And like some people know, and they come to see if I'm genuine or not. Some women definitely like to see if I really have that tone in me.
Like,
and I do.
Walking up to you like this, well.
Like women are they'll come from far and wide, and it's like, can he really do what they say he can do? And it's not even so much about being psychic, it's just about me knowing what I know, and about me being able to say it, because no other man around them can ever say it. It doesn't come out of a male's mouth.
Well,
I think that's what really, they're able to implement it into their sons, and they're able to go, right, well, he's going to have that gene and that.
Well, I've certainly been able to learn some things from you anyway, and you do definitely come out with some things from time
but
to time.
You've got to remember, I'm not God. Like, and I really know what 666 is. It's like me right now, right? Say I mailed the president, right? And I read him to a T. I could then manipulate him, have influence over him. I could quickly take over the world very quickly. Say Putin dies before Christmas, which I'm really hoping he doesn't. Nah, it's going to fucking add it again. It's going to be... And I'm very wary of that. I'm very, very wary of ever being Lucifer. And I'm being serious because
Because it's definitely not a problem that I've had. I've never woken up of a day and gone to myself, fuck, I hope I don't become Lucifer today. Do you have that genuine problem?
I have that genuine fear that one day... Like, I'm being honest, I think I'm already a step ahead, because if I am Lucifer, I'm going to welcome God completely. The story's going to change.
And
I do believe that God is letting Lucifer come now, in a sense.
In what way?
Because we've got technology.
Sounds very sexual, Glenn.
We've got technology, and because people are still sort of not listening to God, I think he's going to allow the devil to come. But by the end of it, I really think people will be so jealous of the devil when he comes, people will hate him, that they'll want God to kill him when he comes.
Do you think the devil will be more sound than people have an opinion of him?
I think he's just a normal person, and I don't think that he knows that he's a devil yet.
Is he red?
I don't know, but he doesn't know that he's Satan yet.
So do you think
he's here, but he doesn't know that he's Satan yet? And I would never like to have that, because I've had the realization before that I might be God. It's weird because you've got this part in you that is God. You do.
Hold on. So is this a genuine problem you have had that you?
I genuinely want to be known as being Glenn Gordon sometimes, and not. I don't always want to be known for having magical powers or anything, because I swear to God, it really, like, God is the one that it is, definitely. I have to be very, very careful. So should I be worried that I could influence you to be the devil or God? No, because it's me. It's just about knowing where my power comes from. Because there is a lot of like, I don't know, evil in the world, I suppose. Because like they say in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Do you feel sometimes overbearing responsibility to not... Well, this is it. This is why I don't like money magic, really, with it. I mean, I could really monetize, and I suppose I probably should from a business point of view and be like, but honestly, it's not about that. I honestly think... See, if I'm booking you, Glenn, I'm booking you around all the hotels, and we're doing nights with Psychic Glenn. You're making an absolute fortune. Yeah, I would do. I would make a bomb if I did. Listen, let me book your shows. I'll be your admin. We'll get it booked. But I wouldn't want to conflict with any other sort of psychics that are doing it. I wouldn't want to, because I mean, everything. I really believe, me doing the live streams for years and all, it's really, what's good for one psychic's good for all psychics. So I'm a bit of a pioneer, because you do see it in bars now, you do see it in hotels now, you do. Yeah. And it's great, really, it is great, but it's just, that's not really for me. Maybe when I'm older, yes. When I've lost my granny, when I've had proper grief that really, really kills me, then yes, maybe I'll want to do it that way a bit more. But right now I'm enjoying being young, and I enjoy seeing people get to where they need to be, no matter what age you are. I enjoy that. And the reason I'm not a life coach, Glenn Gordon PT, it's because I'm realistic. Yeah. And I don't think that I'm a model fucking anything. Really, do not do what I do. Really don't follow the Lord, truthfully. And see, do you think that once you experience grief, do you think that'll change how you approach? I know it'll change me. Yeah. I know it'll change me. Do you still think you will? I always thought my granny was going to die because she pumped it into us when we were young. So I've seen my granny. I can see my granny in spirit now, even though she's not in spirit. Like, I can see her now in spirit, and she's not in spirit. And I've always got it there since I was a wee boy. So I know whenever she dies, that's just going to get stronger. So you mean like she was pessimistic and would have said like, oh my God, aye. Fuck, Agnes has been dancing the day I was born. Jazz? Yeah. No, but I see that. And I've never been like, oh, I don't want to lose my grandpa. But I've always known if she dead, she'd be like an angel. Like, she'd be in my ear telling me things. See, because I've only ever experienced one or two wee things that I've gone, that's
maybe a bit more in coincidence. You
Yeah.
know, one was I've spoken about before in the podcast about when Holly was born. The day, just a few wee things leading up to that to
Yeah.
get me in, at that appointment, which turned out
Yeah.
to be her being born, was very like
Yeah.
stars aligning and stuff, and it made me go, if ever there was a time I go, there's a God, that would be
There is no coincidences.
yeah.
None.
And how do you view, like, I always find a fascinating thing is, you know, the idea of like the sliding door theory or the butterfly effect. If you do one thing different, it could send you off on a total
Well,
other
I do
path.
believe that those other paths already do exist. You're really only afloat now, moving through consciousness. Your younger self already exists. You can remember being in those situations. It's solid, it's there. Your future anticipated, even though you can't see it. You're moving through yourself. You're moving through your own corridors. You already exist. It's like a mansion, really.
A mansion.
A mansion, and you've different houses, and you're inside yourself. You do. That's parts of your soul.
Right. So, fortune telling.
Fortune telling.
What is the difference between fortune telling, psychism? What do you?
Well, fortune telling's really as old as time. Really, it's very, very old and very, very ancient. And I do believe a lot before technology and things, it would have been a lot more popular. But I enjoyed the fortune telling side more because I had an old book that was in my nanny's house, like, and I still have it, and it's about fortune telling. It doesn't always show mediumship. And I was a wee bit afraid of mediumship, to be honest, until I went to Circle. It was only really when I went to Circle, I was like, right, I know how to turn this off now, kind of, and I know how to turn it on. But before that, I didn't even know that they were influencing me until I went to Circle.
And were you nervous going to the circle? Like, for those who don't know, what's the circle?
Circle is where you go and you learn to push those energies. I wasn't ready at 25. I
Is
wasn't.
it like a magic circle or like witches
like a-
circle, coven?
It's like a woman's group. For me, it was like a woman's group. It was like, and I wasn't ready for that then, although it did help me.
Are you saying women's group then?
It was all women, and I was a lot
witchcraft,
younger.
Glenn?
No, just I
No?
didn't understand all these complex emotions, and they wanted me to feel them, and I just, that wasn't for me at that
Like,
time.
in what way? Their energies or their
They
vibes?
expected me to be more mature than what I was emotionally, and I wasn't at 25. I wasn't.
But did that then come away like with an epiphany, being like, right, this is what I need to
Oh,
do?
I
and
came
this
away
is-
me not wanting to really do it. Then I didn't really want to.
Yeah, no mediumship or no psychic, just...
It took me a wee while. I was doing readings and then I completely stopped. I stopped for a couple of years.
Because I would imagine fortune telling would be like, if ever there was any of those practices, you could see like fortune telling being big on, say, like a Hindu or something like that, or it could be a
Yeah.
bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously I view from the outside, mediumship or like getting a psychic reading would be a bit more sort of personal and like serious.
Yeah,
Would that be?
yeah. I like to focus on the person, not who's not here anymore. If that makes sense. Sometimes it's very, very, very offensive, and I know this might piss people off, but whenever spirit has lived a full life, and people go to spirit, and then you've got all these loved ones crying and crying and crying and crying and crying, who won't believe in God, who won't have an ounce of faith, who won't do anything. I can't make them believe. And I get a wee bit annoyed with that sometimes, because they're in really healthy vessels, they're in life, and there's spirit over there, can't get back sometimes.
So
it's different for the individual, and I think that's to do with belief and to do with soul.
yeah, sometimes that can get a bit heavy, and a lot of times when we talk and you go through a lot of terms, my wee brain goes to mush, and I go, whoa, I don't know. But what I do want to talk about, and it would be stupid not to,
Yeah.
our wee show we did, let's
Yes,
just book those. So
yes.
let's talk about how, first of all, let's talk about Grace Needles. That was the area most people have been chatting about, and to those who, first things first, what was the story with the glass breaking in that room? Where did the glass come from?
I have
How did
no
it break?
idea.
Because it wasn't...
No idea, but it was really funny because it was like I broke something.
Yeah.
Which would be me, typically. I usually break something everywhere I fucking go.
But that was the bit that scared me the most of the whole day, because I didn't know where it came from, what it was, and it just went. So for those of that haven't seen it, we went up Grace Neal's bar in Donegal, one of the oldest bars in Ireland. 1611, I think it opened.
Yeah.
And we went in. You'd never been before?
Never ever been.
And do you want to talk people through just how you experienced it and what it felt like when you went in? Just talk us through going through.
It was, well, we obviously had talked a wee bit on the way down, and then the camera had stopped, which I thought was a wee bit weird sometimes, especially with paranormal things. And when things are about to happen, technology, for me anyway, technology always goes wild, but I didn't want to say that. Because I really don't. When I was on that, I swear to God, I did not want to go and be Darika Cora. I can fucking... Listen, the spirits even in the corner of this room right now, there, but they're no relevance to what we're doing right now. They're not for you, they're not for me, they're for anybody. So, like, there's a difference in what I would say is paranormal to what... But when I went in there, you could feel it right away. And what's weird is there's an actual tree that grows right in the middle of the bar, right up. It's weird, like, it's just very weird.
Oh, an actual tree?
An actual tree, that's what that pillar bit is. It's a tree.
I thought it was a wood.
No,
just
it's a
a
tree.
wood.
Mm-hmm.
So
really
whenever you walk
weird,
in, what's the feeling? Talk us through the physical feeling. What do you get within your body? What's the sense, the mood you get?
Truthfully, I reckon Grace was a very, very strong lady. I reckon she knew how to... If a parrot came in that door, she knew how to get him drunk. She knew how to get him settled. She knew how to take and get him out that door again. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was how she kept herself safe, to be honest. I really do. And I believe she would
Sounds
have...
like you're saying
she'd have had
she's
weapons and all too. She wasn't a stupid lady. She really wasn't. She had to be very, very strong.
And so what was it that you felt? So when you walk in, totally to a normal person, you walk in, what way does it make you feel? Do you sense, is it cold, chills, does your body
It's very
change?
warm. Downstairs is very warm, very welcoming.
Now downstairs in
yes,
the bar, or
it
downstairs on your person whenever you walk in there? You're like, you're burning in your willy or something?
Downstairs in the bar.
Right, okay.
Downstairs in the bar was...
Like a vibe?
A nice, warm, welcoming sort of vibe. But when you start to... The eeriness of it creeps in then, and when you get more near the stairs, it definitely gets creepy, like.
And how does that make you feel? Do you get like anxiety, or is it like...
I start to feel the chills and the goosebumps. Okay. But I knew right away. I knew it was up them stairs right away. Second we got there, I knew it was up them stairs.
Yeah, because we went into the wee snug in the front, and you were like, nah, and you were just wanting to go to the stairs.
Yeah.
And I was going, well...
See, you don't realise, but it's dominated that part of that building.
The stairs have?
No, but whatever's up there, that's why. Like, I mean, really, you could have that into what? Turn it into a guest house. Make a couple of pounds, Airbnb, but no, it's not fucking direct upstairs. Why? Because the energy's taking over, kind of.
And do you sense like a gender energy? Would you be like it's a feminine energy or a masculine energy, or do you just...
I got a very male-dominated energy.
Yeah.
I did. I'm not going to lie, a very male-dominated energy.
Because it up there was creepy, wasn't it? Like it was.
Definitely was. Definitely was very creepy.
And again, obviously, my sort of sense of what was going on was based on from what you were feeling, and you definitely weren't. Like, usually you're very bubbly, confident.
Yeah.
You were quite uncomfortable, it seemed, up there.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely makes me uncomfortable sometimes, like. But I find that, like, this is why I didn't feel there was really any in the field and all, because they really do, like, see what's preserved, right? See what's preserved. It allows them to go back. Say they're not wanting to be dead anymore. It allows their wee vessel, the wee soul to go back and pretend to be alive again. And they're not having to let go, really. So this is why they really love Chris Niels, and happy it's the way that it is, really.
So is that why then, if you're because again in the graveyard, I was expecting, honestly, I thought you'd be going sensory overload because there's all the dead, but I thought
maybe at night time, like.
But what's the difference between night and day in terms of the spirits? Because like with horrors or with scary films or the occult or anything, it always seems to be in the dark, lit by candlelight, always.
Well, you can see them more, I think, in the dark. Definitely, you can see them more in the dark.
Is that because maybe you're heightened, your fear levels are a wee bit heightened in the dark, or it's unknown? Is that something?
I don't think they don't like sunlight, really. They don't like
vampires.
They don't work in bright light. They don't work in bright light. They're not in that same dimension, I don't think, really. They can't be in the light of day.
Yeah.
To be in the light of day means they're alive.
Let's talk physical, right? So when we're in Grace Niels, what
you're in the day of your life right now, but maybe the death will be the night of your life.
But how do you feel when you're in Grace Niels compared to how you felt in the graveyard? What
Grace Niels, I felt very emotional. Really, really, when I was downstairs, I felt really, really, really emotional because I felt, fuck me, a lot's happened here. She has been through an awful lot, really, to try and honestly, it's still there. It's almost like it's still fucking sitting there. It's weird. It's a weird energy.
Do you think she has it? There's an element of her.
No,
still
I
in
think
there?
she's there, but no, she's had enough heartache of that place. Believe you me, she would be come down and visit, but I don't think she's predominantly there. Such only a name, only really a name. To be honest, I think she probably couldn't wait to get away from it later in life.
Well,
Grace Niels would be a woman who wanted to go to heaven, I would say.
But
see you later.
We went to the Giant's Ring for business, as well, and you just didn't seem to be...
Well, I always heard it was all doggers. I did. I always heard Giant's Ring, swingers, doggers, all this stuff. I mean, I've heard that for years and years. I've obviously been to a few raves up and around that neck of the woods.
When you say raves, do you mean raves?
Illegal raves? Yeah, illegal raves. Partying.
Not dogging and swinging?
Not dogging and swinging, no. But I don't know. I didn't feel anything there at all. And maybe it's where UFO landed, like, I don't know.
Because whenever like we were looking places to go, one of the stories of the Giant's Ring was that like there was a family went to the middle and there was a thick fog overcame them and they could not escape that fog for about 12 minutes apparently. Very precise time. They said 12 minutes and then they eventually got out, and it was just very eerie because apparently there was like used for like a cult of the dead. People were sacrificed there, but do you think spirits erode or dissipate over time? So the longer, like, that was a very, very, very old site without a lot of people doing things.
I'll give you an example. Had we dressed in clothes, right? Say we dressed in clothes in that time. Say we had a lot of fire. We had pretended to do what what the legend is. We pretended it would have animated a lot more, and we would have brought a relevance then to them, but we've no connection in space and time.
Okay.
There's none at all.
So what we need to do next time, get in the loincloths, get
And
a
it's almost
sacrifice.
like we've no real connection now to Grace Neal, really, only the bar. And whoever's there in the bar, I feel like is there looking after it, really.
But that's what I was going to
Yeah,
say, because
yeah.
with Grace Nails, it's obviously a busy place.
Yeah.
A lot of energy, a lot of spirits, a lot of vibe, people being in and out there.
Yeah.
Always busy, great pub. Whereas the Giant's Ring is very much spread out, desolate, left alone. Kind of,
Yeah,
there's not much
yeah.
happening there. Is that
Yeah.
something you think?
Well, in this time, no, it's only a field. You've got to remember, it has to bear relevance to what's going on just now. The universe is dimensional. In a sense, really dimensional. That's why, see, if you want to connect with loved ones who are no longer here, go back in time. Go back in time in your memories, meditate and go back in time. Because they're there. They're there in the past. This is where they are. Because you haven't created that future yet. It's very dimensional.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to the fourth dimension here, trying to work out what that entails. But what I want to know is, are there any other places out there you go to yourself, we need to go and check this place
Yes,
out?
there's a place called Prehen House in Derry, and I feel like I think it was a murder there, Mr. Knox or something, and I don't know, somebody's head was cut off, I think. Would love to go there. There's a few different places, like, really. There's actually loads of places here.
That's a proper, like, when murders are done, that's like, to have your head cut off is a pretty gruesome, gross
I think
murder.
it was over love too. I love all that.
People being
do.
beheaded, Glenn, you love it?
I love the twistedness of love and aristocracy and money and all this. Like,
Yeah.
when things are unfortunate, and like, it's almost like the souls come right back to try and they come back and they animate and they do it over and every time they try and do it and it doesn't work, but they're still
Yeah.
doing it. Do you know what maybe is the best stage in your life will be the best stage of your existence? That's all I'm saying.
And would there be any places that would frighten you, the thought of going to?
Maybe inside that, where is that hospital?
Not Beaver Park, is it?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's now totally done. It's
Yeah,
changed.
in
It's
there
now
would be quite freaky, I
it's
think.
now a like just renovated property.
It was like a
flats and
sanatorium,
things
wasn't it? Well, I was there last year and it wasn't like
No, but because
a morgue. It's a morgue.
I looked into it.
I wouldn't like to go to a morgue. I wouldn't like anything like that.
No.
Hospitals and all too are really crawling.
Because there's one, I was in Windsor House.
Any sort of old building. See a lot of them old buildings in the town too, like really freaky.
Yeah.
Really freaky. I can remember being in, there's a studio called, what's that studio called where, you know where the cathedral is? Belfast, something it's called.
Mac,
It's
the
beside there.
Metropolitan
It's
Arts
near
Centre,
there. It's near
Black
there.
Box Theatre.
No, what do you call it? The photography studio.
I don't know.
It's like, it's on down there. It's beside the Duke of York almost. But seeing that building upstairs, like the old rooms, my God, it's really just, you can feel it. You can feel the energy all around. And Mills as well, inside Mills, is really freaky.
Because I've heard Conway Mill in the west is a bit
Yeah.
haunted.
Anywhere where,
Really?
anywhere where there would have been life, anywhere where people would have worked. and
What would
things.
be more spooky to you? Places where just a lot of where it was taken
Places
of
where
life?
humans have dwelled, yeah. Oh my
What
God,
about-
nature's beautiful. Nature reclaims everything. It's
what
fine.
about-
But where you can see, like, say, a wee old house where, and the things are still sitting inside it. No, it's like,
But what about places where people were murdered? What are your take
I
on
think
that?
that there's an emotional imprint there, but are the souls always there? It depends, really.
Because sometimes I think the victims aren't bad. Like
No.
they're not good. But then you said that if somebody is like taken away sooner than they are ready
Yeah.
to be, is that when they've unfinished business when they float
Especially
in
if
the
they've got
afterlife?
kind of children here and all, like, I would say, yeah.
And what,
Mothers see if a mother's taken from her children, she'll cry and cry and cry. She'll never, might not get over it, like, she might not be able to do it. Might not.
and what do you reckon? What would heaven entail for you if you were thinking?
I don't know, but different from this world.
Uh-huh.
This world, we're very fucking stuck down. Oh, it'd be nice to fly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because to me it would just be, I'd be in a spa. I'd just be in a spa. My life would be in a spa. Kelly Brook would be there. Pussycat
Yeah.
Dolls would be there. It'd be a nude spa.
yeah,
That's what my ideal of heaven would be.
Yeah.
I'd never get hangovers,
yeah.
you know, and that'd be about it.
It needs to be a 10-dimensional Walt Disney World for me, or I'm not going.
Have you been to Walt Disney World before?
Never.
No? Is it somewhere you'd like to go?
I've been to Alton Towers.
Uh-huh.
No, I wouldn't like to go to Disney, no.
But I thought you just said that would be your heaven. Because
10-dimensional, but a 10-dimensional version of it.
and what is that going to entail?
Well, there's multiple versions of you, I think. There's definitely multiple versions of you. There really is. You look at Britney Spears. She's got all them multiple versions. That's what them cards are about.
Yeah, I was going to say with Britney Spears, so is that not just multiple dimensions? Is that not like potentially just a mental health problem she has?
Every human can be fragmented, and fragmentation usually comes from pain and trauma. It's the body's way of coping, thus letting multiple personalities in as a way of coping, really. And I feel like in mysticism and tarot, you're able to really see some of these real elements, and it really does go back to mysticism. It does. It goes back to the Kabbalistic tree of life. And I believe where Britney Spears is concerned, those parts are really where they've made the money. In the different facets of who she is.
And what do you think about Britney's dad and the whole conservatorship?
I'll be real, I don't think it's Brittany even playing Britney anymore. I think it's a girl called Banana Alice, actually, that plays her on the stage. And when you think about it, it's a brand. There's a difference between Britney Spears, the person, and Britney Spears, the entity. There's a big, big difference. And does she control her social media? No, she does not.
Who the hell's Banana Alice?
They say that's one of the girls that plays her.
That's an orthodox name, Ben. Or Ben, why do I keep calling you Ben? Brittany and Glenn, Ben, but... And
yeah.
Brittany is Banana Alice. Is there a
I
story
think
there?
It's really funny how
that's a weird name.
Every time there's a court date, that Instagram of hers posts videos of her naked and all this. They're sick in the fucking head. They're actually sick fiends.
Who? Banana Alice?
I would understand if Britney's actually really dead. Like, if Britney's really dead, I can get it. And I can see where it's all, and I can see why the people in the conservatorship are the way they are. And it's almost like Britney is dead. It is. It's almost like she actually is. There is no living entity of Britney, I don't think, and there's nobody to advocate, really.
But was there ever then? Or
yeah, when she was young, definitely. But there's rumours as well that she died, really, and Justin Timberlake was driving the car. People said that she flew out the window and she was scattered all over the road.
I just want to point out...
And it was reported by the news, actually, in 2002.
No, but we have nothing to verify that. That's just a conspiracy. Okay, just to point out in that case... Because I know Mr. Spears, Banana Alice, Britney's dad, would come for us.
Or Louis M. Taylor, fuck her.
Who's that?
That was Britney's business manager. Seems to be going after everybody. Speaks about it.
So, because I haven't heard anything about it. That was the first time I've ever heard tell that Britney is not Britney. Britney's Banana Alice, and she has an actress playing who we recognise as Britney. I have heard the rumour before that Avril Lavigne is not Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
But I don't see, like, how... Why would they do that?
She told you in all her music, and there's actually a song called what's it called? It's an album called Something Doll. She was never allowed to release the album by Jive Records, and never ever let her.
Avril Lavigne or Britney?
Britney, they shelved the album right away. It's called Clone. It's about her being cloned, and she actually fucking says it, the word for word that she's cloned.
And do you think that's why they had her top? What do you think about the... Let's get into it. Let's get into conspiracy, because I'm not a conspiracy guy.
I think that Britney's a brand. I think that Britney's a brand, and the second that she wanted to release music that wasn't on par with this schoolgirl, I'll be a fucking slut whore image, then it was problem time. And I really do feel like, I don't know, the business, Britney, the brand, is worth far more than what the human's worth, and I think that's why.
But then you would ask questions about other people who have... like Michael Jackson, for talk's sake.
Yeah.
He was as big a brand as you can get. He died. He looks more clonable than like a Britney would be, for talk's sake.
Yeah.
So why have
Well, I'll tell you who I think's very, very clonable. Elton John.
Well, I mean, yeah, he looks like he's...
Completely. And I really feel like this is what this song's about with them too, that was recorded like 5 or 6 years ago.
Britney and Elton?
Yeah, she says, oh my God, I don't want to do any more music again, and there's Elton John pops up. Do you know...
Do you not like Elton?
I can see through what's going on.
And what do you think is going on?
Britney didn't want to release any more music, and her management team went, fuck you, you're Britney Spears, we're Britney Spears, we're doing it anyway.
But she hasn't released music in a long time, has she?
But that song with Elton John came out.
How long ago was
and
that?
And they used a photo off her fucking Instagram for the PR. What does that tell you? Where is Britney Spears? I would like to know where Britney Spears is.
Any listeners out there
She's
know?
not allowed to speak either. And what they did is, see it this court case, I don't believe she's free at all. What they did was put her into a care plan, and they sealed it. So what I really feel like she's under now is a sealed conservatorship. There, I said it. Sue my fucking ass off, Lee Taylor. Go. I dare you.
Hey, listen.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
She's sent and ceased in the test letters to everybody. Everybody even speaks about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but it would all make sense, really, if Brittany did pass away and we're keeping the brand.
But then, so would Banana Alice still kick about?
I don't know.
Are there any photos out there?
Well, I did see it before and after, like of Brittany, and then when Banana comes in filming for it, and you can't actually tell the difference. There is a difference to me, like there is when I really, really look at it hard, because it's very, very sad right now if you look at her Instagram, like.
Well,
and I can tell you it's not Britney Spears controlling that Instagram.
Because whenever I see Britney's Instagram now, I look at it and I go to myself, that somebody needs to be under conservatorship right there.
Yep.
Like she's not well cat, like, you know. So Let me ask you this: why is Banana Alice called Banana Alice and not just like Catherine?
Well, I don't know.
Like, it's a weird name,
I don't know
isn't
why, but I think that is the name of one
If
of the
I
girls at the
Google
party.
Banana Alice, will
Banana
I get
Alice.
something?
Type in Banana Alice Brittany, I think.
Banana Alice.
There's no photos of her
Brittany.
really, because she looks just like Brittany, but I don't know.
Again, Banana Alice. Okay. Was Brittany? Oh my goodness! It's see now. There's some stuff here that's like.
It basically tells you the truth. Like, she did play her and all in certain.
I know people are just saying, no, this is Brittany, this is not Banana Alice. But it seems to be tied into these tarot cards. Now, you got Britney Spears tarot cards.
Britney Spears Oracle cards.
What's the crack with them and what's the
They're
connective?
lovely. They're very, very nice. But I just feel like they really do show you all her altered states. It's Brittany in all these different altered states. So it is.
I mean, conspiracies are all very weird to me, Glenn. I don't believe in a lot of them. You know, I don't know what... Like, I don't know which conspiracies I would believe or which ones I wouldn't believe. I mean, that's weird.
That's like me being psychic, Glenn, for example, right, at age 16. Oh, I'm the psychic. See, by the time I get to 35, I might not want to be psychic, Glenn, anymore. Don't ever fucking mention it again. Scundered to 100. Do you know? And it's the same with Britney fucking Spears. But no, they have to keep playing. It's just the same Britney. No, she actually fucking isn't. Of course she's not.
So do you mean that like literally or
And I
figuratively? Like,
reckon
does
if Britney is alive, Britney's probably right. Well, this is what is happening. It's fine because she's making money.
Like,
but
has she grown though? Would you be like, so,
of course
because
she
obviously,
has.
like, I would say I'm a different Dave now than I was 10 years ago.
Exactly.
But it's not like.
But her
fucking
brand has always had to have been on.
Grapefruit Johnny over there, you know, it's still.
But if
me.
she was to really change her image, it would destroy the brand and the brand legacy as well.
But then she shaved herself off. Why do you think she did that? Just lost the head?
Probably so they couldn't pimp right.
But now, I will say, I do think certain elements of what happens with, like, young stars, you know, like, to me, you don't know yourself as a person until you're probably older. You know what I mean? And when you like stuff, like, you look at Aaron Carter there, who died.
Yeah,
That was
that's very,
sad.
very sad. That
He was a
really
young
is
fella.
sad, like.
But
You know, and it's sad too, like, whenever he was young, he was the most famous person in the world and all. His parents actually robbed him blind.
yeah, because there comes a
His
point.
own brother broke his nose at the Mickey Mouse Awards or something when he was only a kid, like, broke his nose.
Why?
Putting a cake in his face, but he did it with pure
Alright.
fucking hate and anger, like, it's
Yeah.
horrible. Horrible
But no,
bastards.
he was sad too, old Dick.
He was.
about it.
He was too.
Because that is sad. Because obviously, if you're estranged from somebody,
Yeah.
and then you'd obviously like to resolve it. But I just thought he's been in that from no age. A lot of people who've been in the limelight from they were kids,
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of them are messed up.
Like,
and
don't
have
get me
problems.
wrong, I reckon if Brittany is real, meaning still alive, I reckon she's a complete nightmare. I reckon she really is a cheeky cunt and gives all. Just imagine a woman who's really demanding and all. I reckon that's what the real Brittany really is.
Yeah.
She really is like that, and that's why she does with people, because she is a fucking just
Here's one.
explodes.
See, when I see her on it, it looks to me like she's on something. Like they've drugged her. They're like
Lithium,
sedating
probably.
her. Do you reckon that's what they do to put out this?
Well, they were
Banana
definitely
Alice?
drugging her for them shows, sure, in Vegas, like, they were putting her on lithium, like.
Yeah. And what would you do if you could get to the real Brittany? What would you say to her?
I don't know. I've often thought about this, like, really. It's so hard to know, like, but I don't necessarily believe somebody's, like, locked in a fucking cage at all. But I just believe that the person that was there isn't even allowed maybe to even be who she is.
Because I'm thinking in my head, like the novel Jane Eyre, you know, where
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jane Eyre's met the guy, I can't remember what it is called, this new man, but he was already married, but his
Yeah.
wife was like wired to the moon, whatever it was back in those days, and she was
Yeah.
kept upstairs in the attic.
Yeah.
And then Rochester, maybe he was called, I don't know, but then she burnt the house down.
Yeah.
So that's why I imagine Brittany being kept in a house by her dad,
Yeah.
and then just letting Banana Alice be the.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Are you a Brittany fan? Do you like her music?
I mean, like, she's not even fucking from LA, right? Why would you go and get married and have the likes of Paris Hilton and all there, and when you're actually from a fucking small town on the other side of the country? I mean, why? It doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. It's all a fucking show. A show.
But then the parents, like as a parent myself, if my kids had skills that I can make some bank out of, I'd say,
Yeah.
away you go, guys, off to the Mickey Mouse Club.
Well, that's it.
Go
You
for
can
it.
imagine there's people around, like, and you've got to say to yourself too, like, I can even hear the court arguments, like, well, really, it isn't Brittany, it's the management team that does this, is why they've held on to it for so long. Maybe they have walked away behalf of it. I don't know. But there's a lot of money involved, like.
Well, money is what makes the world go round, isn't it?
Well,
There's a lot of conspiracy there and a lot of interesting takes, Glenn, which I like.
it would be
always
nice
like
if I
it.
seen a video of her that was recent on her Instagram, not one from 5 years ago. Would be nice if we heard an interview where her voice wasn't dubbed over. Would be nice to actually fucking see Britney Spears. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. But would you like to see her make new music and go on tour, or would it? Could you say that would not be her?
I do like her music and all, like, but if that's not what she wants to do, then don't do it.
Yeah. But then my point would be, why does she not just, like, she's not making new music. She could still make all the, like, money out of her image and stuff, and her folks could still make that if she just could want to go and do what she wants. But she got married there too, didn't she? To some wee lad. No. Is that not her own choice, or is that forced on her too?
Or was it all for show?
Yeah, because I look at her and I go, she doesn't look like she's in a good place here.
There's not one real still photo of her at her wedding really either. It's all ones of her moving and all. And why was Madonna and all there? And Donatella Versace? You know, where's her fucking childhood friends?
But then
come on, wakey fucking wakey. I'm going to go over there and wig them all, honest to God. They do my hair.
Doing what?
Wig them.
Wig them? I said wig
fucking
them all.
Wig them all.
Like,
see
what's
you,
that?
yeah, fucking imposter.
Trail them?
Imposter. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Too many imposters.
Nobody's real anymore, Glenn. That's
No.
the problem with the world, isn't it?
I can't wait till they clone me. I've got it'll be great. I'll not have to do anything.
And what do you think they would do? They
Clone me and put me to work.
Yeah. To do what, may I ask?
I don't know, psychic monkey maybe. Or it could be a weather reader. Who knows?
Yeah. Was that what would you like to be? What's next for Psychic Glenn? Let's look at that.
Hopefully there's another series of a full series of Leicester Spooked Ulster. I think it could go to Netflix. I do, really do.
I think, well, we don't know where we'll go, of course.
I do think it could be a streaming worthy, because not everywhere in the world has castles, not everywhere in the world has the folklore that we have. We're such a small island. To give them a wee bit of a glimpse that it's not all leprechauns.
See, if I'm sending you somewhere, I'm sending you to LA to find Brittany.
Yeah.
I like the thought of you
going to find her.
I like the thought of you wigging Madonna and Donatella Versace. I would like to watch that. I'll come and be your bodyguard and just watch you.
I just find it all very creepy and strange.
Well,
very creepy.
But that's it, isn't it? When you get to that level of like fame and money, you can do things normal. Like, there's always these rumours about the elite wanting to drink the blood of children to remain youthful.
That's fucking bit extreme, like.
But that's apparently what to do, Glenn.
Very extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know about that, but I just know that there's a difference. Really, this is what I know. Right, is that there's a difference in, say, Glenn Gordon the person and Glenn Gordon the company, and there's two separate fucking sets of laws completely, and the more dominant law will be the corporate law. So she is literally trapped in her own creation.
So
I think.
I mean, but what I will say there, just for like clarity, is you think it's the celebrity, like the upper class don't drink blood, but you think Britney's a clone?
I think that's a bit fucking extreme, like to say. I'm not saying she's a complete clone, but I mean, I do think that there's people that do play her. There's definitely people that play her, and it's a business, it's a brand.
Like, you know who definitely does that? Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader.
Apparently the North Koreans know that, don't, so it's kind of a joke that he's a deep fake.
Yeah, but he can't be arsed, I think, a lot of the time. He's like, I can make fuck with this.
No.
But like, put it like this. Once the Queen died, you obviously saw all the royals going out and having to go around and have tea with everyone and shake hands. That'd be hard going. Like, if I'm Prince Charles, I'm going to go, get a clone me, send out a blood. I don't fucking want to be a bother doing this. Sausage fingers, bro. I'd be like, send Andrew, bro. You know?
Well, this is it.
And what do you think of Prince Andrew? You think he's a dirty wee clod?
I think he needs to be more responsible for his actions.
Yeah, but do you think that he's a case of just, you know, super rich, thinks he can do what he wants and behaves in such a terrible way?
Oh, absolutely. It's the aristocrats' way.
Yeah.
I mean, you've only got to look at Parliament right now to know it's a bunch of fucking aristocrats. Something needs to change.
And what would you do? How would you solve the problem?
I would phone my friend Guy Fawkes and I would say, listen, mister, I got to get you a tape machine sent over. Come back. Why don't you come back?
So what you're saying is a terrorist attack needs to happen? No.
I didn't say it.
No.
But I just think they all need a good scalp in the hole.
So you would rebrand Guy
like
Fawkes,
politics. I really
send them out to spank people. Just come along, bend over, take some of that.
Money really talks, and I really feel like sometimes people who are born into privilege and wealth have no fucking knowledge of the real world at all. They don't. And I feel like that's quite sad, to be honest. And I feel like those sorts of people shouldn't really be deciding what is for the majority.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would agree with that. I think that whenever you're born wealthy, you're used to wealth, you're going to secure the wealth getting...
The first thing your politicians are told, the first thing they believe in their career is that they're public figures, that they're household names. Ask anybody that's involved with any party here, their household name, sure. You know what I mean? Get the red carpet out for them. Because I'm waiting. Maybe they'll start doing some fucking work.
Well, chance would be a thing, Glenn, wouldn't it?
See if I was in a job, Dave, and I didn't work, I'd be sacked. I reckon I'd be sacked.
Yeah, of course you would.
Breach of contract, all this stuff. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? That's the thing that's baffling about here. They just...
And what I really,
Whatever
really
they
dislike, I was talking to a girl yesterday, you know the way where the troubles, using that word that just lowers it. No, it was actually a fucking civil war, and we're affected by civil war. The women here are so harsh because of civil war, but we don't mention it. It's the troubles. Oh, let's lessen it. Let's weaken it down. It's sadism, really. Wakey. You know what I mean? See, when I think about that, what we've been through as a culture, Dave, and then we don't even have a government now.
Yeah.
It's actually...
That's what annoys me. I do believe that
disgrace.
there are... the day-to-day issues are more important than some of the reasons why people aren't in government.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we could do with somebody just,
people here are affected by civil war. We deserve better treatment.
Making our bills a wee bit less.
Yeah.
Looking after us a wee bit.
What's that like?
But so would you suggest then just we'll wrap up here, because
I'm getting a wee bit too fired up.
you're getting fired up. I need medicine. We've another podcast to record.
Yes.
We need to keep this energy going. But what would you do if you had the power in Stormont? You could Psychic Glenn Gordon is Northern Ireland's government for the day.
What would I do?
What are you doing? What's some laws?
What would I do? I would form a new legislation and see if people would be on board. I think we need to have a tax-free principality in Northern Ireland. Why? Because we're victims of war. We're not the same as every other country. Every other country hasn't been blew to bits. We deserve a tax-free status. We deserve independence, and we deserve to be a country of our own. And I think I could be very on par with that, which is, well, I'm a psychic.
Like Monaco? You're talking? So you'd be a tax haven?
Prince.
Yeah.
But get Shane Todd to be the Crown Prince.
No, he'd
be easy.
No, but you need to have a brain to be able to function as that.
But I do think we need to have our own independence.
You know who the Prince of Monaco is? Prince Albert.
I know.
Which is also
Grace Kelly's fucking grandson, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also a name when you get your penis pierced as well.
Prince Albert. I know.
There you go.
Prince Albert is, if somebody says a Prince Albert, it means you're Jap's eye.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what's so Japanese about it.
Well,
it's more like an Oriental eye.
Glenn, come on now. We'll not worry about that. I think what it is, it's more like the it's the urethra of the penis. I think what we'll go with.
Entry level sex.
There you go, guys. As usual, it's been a pleasure. Glenn, thanks for coming. If anyone wants to find you, follow you, where can they get you,
Psychic Glenn? Follow me
on socials. On what
TikTok,
platform are you on the most?
TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I also am on Twitter as @GlennGordon_ from my Twitter.
There you go. Glenn, pleasure as always. See you soon.
I'm the sly guy.